Hi, my name is Angus Ho with Daddy Debt, a part of the Ash Management Group. I want to show how you can budget as a full-time engineer, make real estate investments, and live an exceptional family life as a dad. So come along with me in this journey of wealth. As you may already know, I love teaching the next generation about finances, but how do we get our little ones to understand the concepts of money and investing? I don't have little ones that I can teach right now about finances, but when I do babysit sometimes, I don't necessarily teach them about finances, but the fundamentals of finances, which is math. In this video, I also want to tell you what my grandma taught me about finances and some of her methods. Starting at a young age is also so important, as a strong foundation is the key to future success. Even if you need to start now is better than later. This way, you can reach that dream goal faster, whatever that is. The dream house that you've always wanted, the ultimate vacation, retire early, and be financially independent. I want to start off with what my grandma taught me about money. The first thing my grandma taught me from a young age, maybe 8 or 9, my grandma would take me to the mall every day, and when we would go and collect shopping carts for fun. Some people would rather dump their 25 cents than pushing the cart back to the cart corral. This was a very seasonal job, as the winter days had a much better business opportunity. Across the way was a real Canadian superstore. Those carts were worth $1 instead of the 25 cents. Getting one of those carts was much harder. So, you see, we saw a need and we provided a solution. My first job was at 8 years old, being a shopping cart valet. My grandma would give me all the change every time we went to the bottle depot to get the bottle deposits back. She would also give me all the winnings from her mahjong games. It would be all in change, but it was enough for me at my age. I would get about $5 to $10 every week, and I would deposit all that money into a piggy bank. Once it got full, we would dump everything out and roll them using loose leaf paper. Of course, back in the 1990s, it was okay, but as the 2000s rolled around, the banks only accepted bank-issued rollers, and eventually the debit card came around, and this obsoleted my bank book, and everything became online. The best thing about rolling coins is that it teaches fractions and ratios. I still remember that the quarters were the toughest to count because you need $10 in a roll. 4 quarters make $1. If I was to make stacks of 10 quarters, I would need 4 stacks to make a roll. It wasn't the same as pennies, nickels, and dimes, where all of them required 5 stacks each. What my grandma told me about RESP, or Registered Education Savings Plan, was that for every $1,000 we put into the RESP, the government would double it. It got me really excited about that, and that's what we did. Each year, if I was short a couple $100, my grandma would top it off to make $1,000, and then we would put it into the RESP. After that, when I went to university, I withdrew all my RESPs to pay for my education. That is also when I opened my investment accounts, like a savings, tax-free savings, registered retirement savings plan, and a locked-in retirement and self-directed accounts. I play with many types of funds, like mutual funds, ETFs, GICs, and stocks. Of course, my favorite is stocks. My parents always taught me to not go into debt, not to use credit cards, and never gamble. I've learned that debt, especially consumer debt, and using credit cards, the interest rates is just too crazy at 20 to 30%. For the longest time, I was afraid of credit cards and I didn't use one. Eventually, I learned that I do need a credit card just so that I can have a credit score. So I did get one, but I never used it because I didn't want to go into debt. Then they started on the cash back, and eventually I fell for the lure of the credit cards. To this day, I've always purchased using my credit card. I guess my good habits of making sure I have enough money in the bank before using the credit cards has naturally swung over to how I live life day to day. I don't need much. The last thing my grandma and my parents would teach me is getting an education. Some of the benefits of an education is that you will get jobs that pay more. You will also get jobs that last longer. An education also gives you knowledge that will never disappear. That knowledge will stay with you forever. Once you have your education, you can pursue whatever dream you want, my parents always say. But you can always fall back on your education if it doesn't succeed. How I see it, it's hard work either way, with or without an education. Without the education, you're rolling the dice. Some will make it, and most won't. Think about it. In the US, there are more than 300 million people. If 1% make it rich, then that's 3 million people. Or flip a coin 100 times. If it lands on head more than twice, then you are not that person that will make it. Secure your future with a bachelor's degree at least. I've seen many videos about these people making it without a degree, like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. They were just passionate about what they were learning during their educations. With a little bit of luck and a little bit of hard work, they made it to the 1%. This is the ultimate recipe for success: luck and hard work. Like what James said in The Princess and the Frog. But you remember, Tiana, the old star can only take you part of the way. You got to help him with some hard work of your own. How I see it is that you can learn it through education or learn it through hard work on your own. Either way, every person will dedicate the same amount of energy into a dream to make it become reality. For me, I'm just an everyday dad, working hard and budgeting as an engineer to stay out of debt. This way, I can use the ASH method to strategically invest in real estate and the stock market. Along the way to the strategy of investing comes along with a lot of learnings I've received. I want to share some of the things I did and want to share with you, my little ones, what I will be doing. One of the things I do is go to the bank often. This is one of the things I will tell my kids to do. Visit the bank every time you have a problem. Visit them every time you hear a new product. Talk to a financial advisor. Talk to every person the bank has to offer. They will give you so many ideas and products to try, and that will build more confidence in the area of finance. I highly encourage that you take advantage of every product. Put $100 in each account and see what works best for you. Also, every time you see a charge on your bank statement or an interest charge or something odd, make sure you talk to the bank about the issue. Don't just let it be and see if you can find out why that happened, and don't let it happen again. The next thing I will show my kids is one of my favorite games when I was younger, which is Monopoly. It was a fun game, but it was also a game about finances, building houses, strategy, risks, and rewards. We enjoyed the game so much, we played it almost weekly, and we allowed the game to go on for 4 hours. We would sometimes play it until 4 a.m. If you're not willing to lose your friends over this game, you're not playing hard enough. So, I am told, Monopoly has taught me many things. How to count money, the importance of having money and building a business. These ideas are made simple by Monopoly. The next thing I will let my kids watch is one of my favorite TV shows as a kid that talked about finances, Debt Till Death Do Us Apart. It was one of my favorite TV shows. Some of the things I like about the show was to learn from other people's mistakes, not to get into credit card debt, budget your money, and spend within your means. The next TV show I really enjoy is Shark Tank. It's not always about the excitement of whether each entrepreneur will get a deal. I enjoy it to research products, what makes an investable product, Also, Shark Tanks allows me to think like a venture capitalist and as an investor. What makes sense to invest in? What are some of the financial vehicles that are available to entrepreneurs, and how to structure a deal with potential investors? These are all great knowledge to have when talking to others. Do you know what is more dangerous than sharks? You got it! Dislike trolls! They're coming! Hurry! Hit that like button before they get me! Oh my god! Whew. Okay, thanks for helping. Let's get back to watching TV shows. The idea behind watching TV shows is to learn something in a more entertaining format, and that is the best way to teach kids. TV shows is one of the best ways to do that. The last thing I would teach my kids is math. Basics, basics, basics. Building the foundation and fundamentals of finances is so important. When I was younger, I would always test my cousins and friends, their math skills. Even basic math like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In the older days, I would teach algebra. These are all great concepts for budgeting. In future years, understanding the numbers and what it means to a business is important. But as a kid, math is very important. These are all the things I would like to do when my kid grows up and understands some of the basic concepts about money. For now, however, I want to share with you what I would do, and hopefully you will share some of my learnings with your kids or your future kids. By doing all this, I can run a side business that manages over $3 million in properties, travel the world with my wife, and live in a 2,000 square feet house. Now I'm a millionaire. Well, actually 80% plus of the way there. I hope you enjoyed my video on how to get kids to learn finances. Join me at the Daddy Debt Facebook group to talk about your finance questions. Ask the YouTube community your questions by commenting below. If you like to hear more budgeting, engineering, or real estate tips, please leave a comment for what you want to hear. Smash that like button, subscribe button, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I post new videos every week on Sundays. From the Ash Management Group, this is Daddy Debt, saving you money.